think a lot of people believe they need to get their life perfectly together before they invite their kids into it. But what if the point isn't protecting them from the process? What if the point is letting them grow inside it with you? This wasn't just about creating more flexibility for me, it was about deciding what kind of life we were actually inviting our kids into. Kids don't grow up in what we say matters, they grow up in what we choose. And that realization changed how we think about everything, especially experiences. And for me personally, I got to thinking and I was like, you know what? It's not because we think it will be easy. It will be really, really messy and it will be chaotic, and someone will always need something. But that's kind of the point, isn't it? There's something powerful about shared space, about having to go the extra mile, about learning from every experience, and about the conversations that happen because there's nowhere else to be. Those are the moments that kids remember, not a perfectly planned schedule, not a routine we can execute flawlessly all the time. They remember how it felt to be together. We live in a world that's really good at providing comfort from literally like every perspective. But my husband and I agree on this, and we talk about this at length that comfort doesn't shape character. Experience does. And travel, whether it's an RV trip, a cruise, or a weekend getaway, teaches kids things that they can't learn from a screen or a classroom. And some ideas or thoughts that came to mind of ways that travel can help our kids is about perspective, learning about different cultures and the way that things work, patience, adaptability, curiosity, being curious about doing life in a different way. And those lessons don't come from being perfect, but they come from the actual participation in it. So later this year, we're taking our kids on a Caribbean cruise, which I'm super excited about. Not to just reward them, say, here's a gift for you, not to just escape, but it's intentional time together that we are choosing. Time where we're not pulled in 10 different directions and we are focusing on slowing the time down. Time made specifically without distraction. And it's not just about like where we're going. Like, yeah, we're super excited about going to the Caribbean. Like, it's going to be amazing. But it's about that designated time that we get to remove ourselves from other things that are going on in our lives. And it's also about what shared experiences teach them about connecting, like truly connecting. The world is so much smaller than we can imagine. One thing that's really important to us is that we don't hide our work from our kids. So they see us working, they hear us talking through our decisions, and they understand that flexibility exists because responsibility does. So we want to be able to show them we can do both, have fun, and enjoy our time together. It's not about dividing or like keeping them completely separate, but it's about integration. And they're learning that building something meaningful takes effort, and that effort could still make room for joy every single day. Leveling up as a family isn't about doing more and more impressive things. It's about being intentional with the things that you choose, the things that you want to do. It's choosing experiences that bring you closer together and about expanding your perspective and creating shared memories. And so that was pivotal for Jay and I at the beginning of this year. We made those decisions ahead of time with those specific objectives for our family that were like, those are our non negotiables. Because when you decide that, when you decide that those are the kinds of experiences that you want to have, that is going to shape who your kids become. They are incredibly impressionable at every age, but especially when they're young. And who they become is really important. You want them to be able to go out in the world and have independence and have a background where they've had a variety of different types of experiences, where they can come to the table with different concepts and ideas and an ability to be able to relate to people of all walks of life. After Greece and Turkey, one thought kept coming back to us. I don't want my kids to inherit a belief that life starts later. I don't want them to think that the things that they aspire to are things that you have to earn after decades of exhaustion. I want them to grow up seeing life as something that you can step into and you don't have to wait till you're in your 70s or 80s. I want them to know that this can happen so much sooner, especially when life is imperfect. Like, we are going to make mistakes. We're going to do things wrong and we're going to fail forward. But I just want to say this clearly that this is not about doing everything right or having all of the answers instantly. And it's not about constantly traveling. It's not about having endless resources. It's about choosing the moments on purpose. So things like a road trip, a shared experience, or a break in routine that invites you to truly connect, those are the things that truly stand out. And your life is not going to change because you made one big decision. It's going to change because of many small intentional ones. Every day, choosing that intentionality. And your kids are always going to remember how present you felt, that touch, that feel, that engagement, how often you laughed together, how safe it felt to just be. And those things are built in moments, not in the milestones that are created. Since making these changes, something has felt so different in our home. There's absolutely, without a doubt, there's more conversations that are happening. We're sitting down at the dinner table. We are committed to eating dinner every single night together. So we're able to share our gratitude. We're able to share something special that we all were able to experience. And it's so meaningful. And there's so much more awareness of who's doing what, and more shared understanding of why we do what we do. All of us, there's 6 people in our family, my husband and I and our 4 kids. And that tells me we're moving in the right direction. I think it's really important for us to commit, to just make a decision and say, this is what I want to invite into my world. This is what I truly want to invite. I want my family to be able to experience. And if you're like, where do I start with all of this? I encourage you to just start small. Invite your kids into real life. Choose one experience that brings you all together. Like, for example, the dinner table. Let go of the idea that it has to be perfect to be meaningful, because it doesn't. It's something that you decide, you choose about how you're going to be involved. Pick a game, go for a walk, take your kids to the store with you, and be intentional about those experiences and about how all of it is going to play a role in the big picture. In the next episode, I want to talk about how we can decide which experiences to say yes to and which ones to let go of. Not every opportunity deserves your time or energy. So just remember that. If this episode resonated with you, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. This season is about building a life where growth, family, and meaning rise together.